Heck, I accelerated and went. And now I'm like, it's like, you know what? This might be one of the best teams I've ever had or ever seen that lost its number one player and literally doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That team does not matter. With or without David Johnson, it's like, fair enough.
Well, no, I mean, like, it looks pretty good. I knew it was going to be tough to beat with Kareem Hunt, David Johnson, and DeMarco Murray. I don't know who your receivers are.
Do I have Gillespie in that league too?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't studied your team that
I
hard.
think I do.
Dude, I don't know if you noticed, but I made a hell of a move today.
Who'd you get?
Josh Gordon.
God, you read the stories about his rehabilitation too.
Yeah, literally
too many times already.
2 minutes after that post went out on
Trying to log in my team.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Underground Pub Show, episode 45, here on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network. My name is Schreiber, here as always with Bobo and CJ. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Sorry if that intro sounded kind of awkward. I don't have any... I guess there's no reason for me to be wearing this right now because we don't have any audio in our headphones.
Oh, by the way, I had Chris.
Oh, yeah, by the way, we have no audio in
I
our
had Chris
headphones.
Why are you telling me
Chris
this after we start?
Because
It's okay.
Chris
Thompson's good.
On my bench.
Well, yeah, I got
What
Rob
are you,
Kelly,
a
so I might have to snag
fucking
him from you.
moron?
Well, you could throw me.
I didn't actually notice it until right
Throw
when
you
the
a little
stream
trade
started
offer.
happening.
Live Facebook feed
Do you
trade
have
offer.
any? Do you have any tight ends of reputable?
Man, I just
well,
dropped.
It's too early for tight ends.
I just dropped Hunter Henry.
I had Martellus Bennett. I'm actually fine. I didn't realize that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
This is
well,
my quarterback, Jameis Winston, and Sam Bradford. Yeah, I picked up Sam Bradford too. Remember? I did that. I picked him up.
Did you put him in?
Yeah, I had to because Jameis Winston was grained out. His game
There
got
it
grained
is.
out.
That's
true.
So I was like, I'll just get Bradford for the fuck of it.
Yeah, Bradford looked like
I
John
guess that worked
Elway
out, yeah.
on Monday night.
I would have to say it did.
He was making some good
And
throws.
it
I mean,
partially was because he was playing the Saints.
Well,
Because I figured he'll
yeah.
get a touchdown or two because he's playing the
the
Saints.
buzzsaw was not plugged in, so we definitely we got our butts kicked all over the field. But he was making good throws, though, man. Like,
No, he was making plays,
like,
and they're
Yeah, he
making
actually-
plays for him as well as him making plays. Like these dudes are like playing in Minnesota, like they all like
Yeah.
each other again and stuff. Everyone's having a fun time.
There was,
I haven't
like-
seen that in a while.
Thielen was all over the place, killing. I don't know how to
I
pronounce
had
his name.
him in too. He
Did
was
you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a shit show.
Yeah, you
I
just
murdered
dominated
whoever
that.
I played.
Yeah, you played Trent.
Dude, I
He's the-
said good game on Thursday night. I said good game. In the messages, I posted good game.
that's pretty messed up to celebrate too early, man.
I
Like,
celebrate violence, speed, and momentum.
violence, speed, and momentum.
That's
I
it.
do the reverse. It's what we call CJing. It's where you like it's still up in the air, but you call the other person or text them like, "Hey, man, looks like you got me." And then like it usually works out.
And then you end up winning.
Then I sneak out the victory, and it makes that text even more like piss off people. Like especially my friend Jamie, he hates it when I send him that text like, "Hey, man, looks like you got me." And it's like Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm definitely the opposite. I am the violent speed and momentum. I'm
Well-
just gonna talk shit on Thursday. Good game.
Good game.
He was like, dude, it's not even Saturday yet. I'm gonna fuck, already won. And I did.
Yeah, well, you had Kareem Hunt, who had the best game by running back by far, who I actually got made fun of in the NFL draft, like on our league in Coyotes. Like, you know how they automatically tell you about the draft recap?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, defending third place champ must know something that somebody else doesn't because he took Kareem Hunt at 41
do that.
and his average draft position's 123rd. Well, take that, NFL.com. I totally owned it. And I got him in 3 of my 5 leagues, and he looks to be the stud. And there's another guy on the Chiefs whose name is Akeem Hunt, who people are picking up for some reason. I guess because they're confused, but it's 2 different guys. There's Kareem Hunt and Akeem Hunt. So like Jay,
That's annoying.
yeah, like Jay in our league picked up Akeem Hunt, and I don't know if he actually thinks that that's the guy that went off.
Well,
for-
according to his record last year, there's a good chance.
Yeah,
You talking about Coyotes, Jay?
yeah,
Yes.
Coyotes
Then I
Jays.
doubled down on that.
But yeah, So the Saints got their ass kicked. Packers won. Raiders won. So that's our collection of teams.
Patriots lost.
Patriots lost.
Patriots.
But-
The surprising thing about that one was
Something
like
we all can get behind, I believe.
Ed, actually
Patriots.
he's a closet
I have
Pats
a-
fan over here.
yeah,
He's
I
a
like
closet everything fan.
I also had
Fair enough.
They didn't have that much investment in the Patriots except for Gillespie, who actually was fine. Or is it Gillespie? Is it Gillespie? I always say it's fucking wrong,
It's
but
Gillislee.
other than him, I don't have much invested in them this year. So actually, kind of that game worked out for me. I can't really get upset about anything.
I got Chris Hulk Hogan starting in our league this week. He's going to own the Saints secondary. So
Aside from like Ron Gronkowski and like not doing anything in that game, like I didn't really care that much about the Patriots winning or losing. My friend Sonia is a big Pats fan, and I mean I am thankful for the Pats for.
Hey, can I didn't mean to interrupt, but
Go ahead.
there's a big deal going on in one of the groups that I'm in Mod Southern college Southern what's it called?
Southern Trash, like Southern,
Southern
football, trash talk.
Football
I'm not,
trash
even, I'm not
talk.
even in the group, and
Yeah.
I know that.
I
Well-
used to be in that group.
So there's some drama going on the group with people talking
No, not that
smack.
group.
Well, smack about family smack. Like what is good, what is bad.
Family
Can you
smack should be
simply
left
s-
out.
Can you simply say your mom is that, or like basically a generic mom style joke? Is that bad?
I think moms should be left out of all smack
Like
talk,
just
man.
left
Like,
out altogether?
I think so.
I
well-
think moms are the cornerstone of smack talk.
Nah,
personally.
you gotta leave the moms out.
well,
man.
and then there's also
Leave the mothers out.
You could say dads, like dad smack. I don't see anybody having a problem with that.
oh,
Probably
crap.
the gayest thing
the-
I've ever heard you say.
Dad smack? Like your dad is so and so.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
I'm not the greatest smack talker, so.
what's the number? Is basically what I was going to ask for.
What our number is 850-907-7686. Great first week in NFL. We have college football. The Hurricane messed up several games, especially in Florida. So we'll talk college football still and take fantasy questions. We all play fantasy football. We're all in leagues together. So if you have any questions on who to start, our opinion, just let us know. I went 4-1 this weekend, so it was a nice weekend for me.
I went 1-2. I've got a serious in the league that he's dominating in with his violent speed and momentum team.
Yeah.
My team is bringing up the rear as it is just bad. I had the 11th pick in a 14-man dynasty league, or a 14-man keeper league, and pretty much right from whenever I made my first pick, I immediately hated my team. I was ready to go ahead and delete it all, and yeah, it's bad.
I
It is
also
bad.
lost in that league, so I'm 0-1 in that. Drew Brees and McCaffrey. let
I
me
had
down.
Andy Dalton as my quarterback. Let's just go.
If you would have started Andrew Luck,
Yeah.
you would have done
I had-
better
Yes.
than started Andy
He had
Dalton.
negative points, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
He-
I could have started Andrew Luck and have done better.
Yes.
Like and I mean,
How about Alex Smith being the number 1 rated quarterback in fantasy?
you know what's fucked up is before the week, Andy Dalton was projected to do better than Alex Smith.
That's where those projections come.
Everybody was projected to do better than Alex.
I mean, agree. I mean, yeah, fair enough. But like, I've had Andy Dalton. In fact, he helped me win, or not help me win one, but he helped me come close to winning one a couple years ago. And he's never done bad. Like,
Yeah.
he's been a fair quarterback.
He
So
usually
what-
doesn't
Yo,
do
he
negative
definitely
points.
has had some bad games, some memorably bad games. Which you question whether he's really the guy that should be the guy or not.
Fair enough, but I mean, like he's especially like since in the AJ Green era over there, he's had some really great games. Though I was just really surprised
Flex it up because
at how horribly
There you go.
bad he did. I remember I was
Not that part. Like
at work that morning, looking down at my phone and seeing how bad he was already off to start. I was like, yeah, this isn't looking good already. So
Yeah, but the thing, like, I'm in 5 leagues, and Alex Smith wasn't owned in any of them, was not drafted in any of them, and the Miami Dolphins Bucks game getting canceled or moved back actually helped out a few people, because if you had Jameis Winston or Cutler, I don't know why you would have Cutler, but you could still pick up somebody, and everybody got Alex Smith. Definitely got rewarded for that. I mean,
The Bradford people didn't too bad. Do too
well,
bad either.
yeah. The Saints
He did
secondary
fine.
was not on the field at all. We actually started the first 4 plays of the game with 10 men on the field. I don't know if anybody noticed that.
Honestly, with the Saints, no, I really didn't notice it at all. It just seemed like it was just regular bad defense.
Yeah, well, Sterling Moore was supposed to get on the field for the first play of the game. For some reason, decided not to, and he ended up getting benched. And we put in.
Well, he just decided he didn't want to get on the fucking field.
I guess he was, drinking a Gatorade or something. He missed the first 4 plays, and they put in Devontae Harris, and then Stephon Diggs ended up eating Devontae Harris's lunch the entire night. Like Diggs looked like Moss out there.
Diggs ain't bad though.
No, Diggs is good, but he looked like
And
Moss.
Harris looked horrible, man. I mean,
Oh yeah, they were picking on him left and right. There was so much miscommunication in the secondary. AJ Klein's already come out and said, if we're gonna get pressure on the quarterback, we have to have the secondary cover guys for more than like 3 seconds. So there's already some miscommunication. It is just week 1, so I'm ready for the Bobo explosion.
How
But
many
like
times have we said this at week 1 before about the Saints defense?
since
This is not the-
2013, since 2013.
That's the problem. This is not the first time that week 1 we've been like laughing. I've been laughing. At
Well,
Saints
you've been
defense,
laughing,
and
yeah.
you guys been somebody. No, man, it's just week 1. I'm like,
Every year is going to be different, and then it's the same. It's actually over 1,354 days since the Saints have had a winning record in the NFL.
yeah,
that's a lot for
yeah,
them.
that is-
because
that is bad.
As much as I make fun of them,
considering
they're not,
considering
were
how
a
it used to
good
be.
team for quite a while. Like the late '90s, early 2000s, they really started coming around.
When Hazlitt took over, that's when they started getting
Yeah.
respectable.
Exactly.
And then, Peyton put them over the edge, and they just made terrible draft decisions. Like the play calling in the game, I know ESPN got into it, about the whole Adrian Peterson scuffle with Sean Payton.
you think that was nothing or what?
They both came out and said it's nothing, but
Well, of course.
if
but-
you watch any of the Saints games, that's what they do. They switch out players left and right, and honestly, that's how we used Tim Hightower, and that's what was expected.
But let's ask you this question:
Yeah.
Do you think that's successful doing it that way? Has the running game been successful
It,
with that?
it worked. The year that we won the Super Bowl, that's almost exactly how they ran it when they had Reggie Bush, Pierre
who
Thomas.
who do they have then? They had different players that were more suited for that style.
Yeah,
I think
fair
Adrian
enough.
Peterson has to keep running, and I think freaking Ingram has to keep running too to get into his rhythm.
I
don't
think
know if
Ingram
they're like-
he should have been used more.
Yeah,
I don't
and that
think
that game in particular, I mean, like I said it to CJ when we were watching the game when I think it was the Saints' second or third drive. They got down into the red zone on the 2-yard line, 4th and 2, and instead of going for it, they kicked it. They kicked the field goal, and from the get go, it just didn't sit right. It was like, man, they really should have gone for it there. What's the worst that could happen? They don't get it, and the Vikings are all the way down the 2-yard line, and they took the field goal. And that next drive is when the Vikings scored their first touchdown. So it was really
3 plays,
It was-
78 yards. It was like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was very quick. We did have a question from
What's the
message
board?
well my fucking my stream is doing the same thing it's been doing, but let's see, where can I find it?
I have mine up.
It was about the Z. It was about somebody said I apologize, I can't see the name of the person that asked this, but someone asked if trading Ezekiel Elliott and Brandon Cooks, if trading DeMarco Murray and Brandon Cooks for Zeke is a smart trade. Guys, what do y'all think on that one?
week 1?
I would wait till after this week.
I don't think there are any smart trades week 1.
Well, I mean, you can always start the thing. If Zeke plays the whole year, I would lead towards doing it. It just depends on who your other wide receivers are. Like
Yeah.
if you're deep at wide receiver and you want to get Zeke, who's going to be a top 3 running back, then I would definitely go for it.
You think so?
Yeah.
I kind of like to wait and see a little bit. I mean, again, you can't wait for too long, or the deal is going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
Strike while the iron's hot. I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this person may be on the clock, so to speak. That's why they may be
you
asking.
have to have
but
some serious poor
I don't fucking understand why this shit happens to me.
Well, honestly, like, it really depends on who your other wideouts are. If
That's
you're
what I'm
strong
saying.
at wideout and
Yeah.
you can trade Cooks and Murray to get Zeke, I would do it. But if your wideouts are suspect, then you're better off just keeping the 2 players. I know Brandon Cooks and the rest of the New England Patriots are gonna just go off on us this weekend. I would play anybody that has a New England helmet on. Burkhead, James White especially. We can't seem to guard the players on the flats. Hogan, especially Hogan. I think he's going to have a huge game. He had kind of a letdown game against the Chiefs, but I think he bounces back big time.
The Chiefs are probably
Do
the,
like-
the stellar end of defense, I think. Is,
Well, yeah,
do
and,
you
and the
see-
Vikings do have a good defense. I will say, like, I saw a comment on here: 20 offensive packages for like 4 yards.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean that seems what it like if you're watching the game. I know, like, I've equated it to like how hockey players shift their lines. That's how the Saints do it, and sometimes it's like they're getting too smart for their own good. I know Sean Payton's trying to get different matchups, exploit the defense, but when you're not, it just seemed like the play calling was just all over the place and it's not working.
It's worth noting too the Saints they had very little time on the field on offense. I could have sworn that this was a mistake, but they only had 8 offensive possessions that entire game, which is not a lot. And the crazy thing is they made the red zone. It really doesn't feel like this, but they made the red zone 5 times out of all that and scored on. They scored on 5 of those. They at least scored on 5 of those because they got a touchdown and 4 field goals.
Is
in
that
that
all
game.
during the second half?
What? No, they got a couple field goals in the first. They got a couple field goals in the second. Then they got that garbage touchdown towards the end.
It was a 10-point game most of the game.
So I mean, like if you stop it, so I mean that shows 2 things. It shows, the play calling was a little all over the place with the Saints, and 2, it does show the Vikings got a hell of a defense. Because I mean, if you made the red zone that many times, you shouldn't have a problem putting it in, but they did for some reason it. And I mean, I've even said this on the show before. The Saints last year had some red zone issues. A lot of the times you see the Saints score off of big plays and stuff like that, and that seemed to be kind of out of the question in this game. But the red zone, they, like I said, I mean, just going back to that 4th and 2 play, I mean, I really felt like any of the running backs, Mark Ingram, Adrian Peterson, Alvin Kamara, probably could have punched that in. But I mean,
I will give
but
credit to the Vikings defense. They looked phenomenal, and that seeing Hendricks on the Vikings kind of makes me sad because we took Stephon Anthony, and that guy can't get on the field to save his life, and Hendricks is a beast.
Here, hold on. Before you get to that, I do want to say this because Drew from Coyotes was saying he had this problem last week, and he is right now. If anybody's watching this show and you're having streaming issues, please let me know because I do with my phone as well. And Drew was saying he's been having it now for the last couple weeks. So just out of curiosity, see if we can try to nip that one in the butt to help us help you, I guess. All right, no, I'm sorry, Bubba, go ahead.
I don't know what we're going to be able to do about it.
Yeah.
I'm not dropping any frames.
Yeah, I know. I'm just curious to see if there's some kind of pattern here because my phone, for some reason, while we're live, it'll stop after like 2 seconds. And
I've had the show up the whole time and it hasn't stopped.
yeah,
once.
no, I've been watching it on y'all's. I'm just curious if there's a pattern because Drew was telling us last week he was having the same problem.
Well, he has AT&T and an iPhone, so... Well, no, he doesn't have AT&T. Never mind.
I have
I have-
AT&T.
I have
This seems to
Verizon.
be doing well for me.
He might have Verizon, actually.
Bobo, did you notice the explosion from all the rookie running backs this weekend in fantasy? Dalvin Cook, Fournette, who certain hosts of our show didn't seem to think was any good. And
I,
Before I
Kareem
get to
Hunt.
that, which I do want to get to that, I have one quick question regarding the Saints game. A
Okay.
last question, if you will. Is Sean Payton on the hot seat?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so,
So, I
too.
mean, he has to be 7-9, 3 straight years. If he goes 7-9 again,
Yeah, your Super Bowl card
Yeah.
can only last so long.
Yeah.
I usually say like 5 years, and it's well past 5 years.
Yeah.
Like,
I did want to ask one question too. I mean, assuming if the Saints is there a player like for fantasy owners in particular, or just for the sake of watching the game, do you see somebody other than somebody named Drew Brees having a bounce back game for the Saints this Sunday?
the one Saint that actually looked good was Fleener. Like,
Yeah, could be.
like,
He had the
the rest
touchdown,
of the team was doing awful, but Flamer was actually holding on to the ball,
Actually have it
making
knocking
good
down.
catches in traffic. But yeah, to answer your question, Bobo, if we do 7-9 again, he's gone. They
Yeah.
got to start looking.
But she says Michael Thomas.
Well, Michael Thomas was held under check too, but I think he was guarded by Rhodes for a while, and then when Rhodes went off, Trey Waynes was on him.
Running game too. I mean, it looked to me like Mark Ingram was still the better of the group. I mean, do you see him maybe having a bounce back game this Sunday?
Well, New England's defense didn't look too great against the Chiefs as it is. I think we can maybe
Yeah, they
exploit
got
some of
ran
the
on.
same,
They got
some
ran the fuck
matchups.
on.
They're not
And
the
passed
Vikings
on.
defense.
So I
Plus,
mean,
it is at home, so I mean, I think it'll be a high scoring game that the Saints end up losing
yeah.
just because we can't keep up. But fantasy, there's gonna be a lot of fantasy in that game. And Kamara, I just saw this on the group chat. I think they were using him way wrong. They should have been using him more in the slot. exploit his speed and pass catching ability, but they kept running him up the middle just like they were doing AP, and it just wasn't working.
Richie Wade says that Sean Payton hates Mark Ingram and has no idea why.
He hates Bama, I guess.
He fucking drafted him.
Yeah, we traded a pick for him.
Yeah,
traded a first round pick
and
for
even re-signed him. I mean, I know there was the whole taking him out of the game for Tim Hightower last year or whatever, but I don't think he hates him. I mean, they clearly see something with the guy because with re-signing him and stuff like that and whatnot. And I mean, he was still getting the majority of the looks in the Vikings game over Adrian Peterson, and I don't.
Homer alert. Homer alert.
I'm going to disagree with that Homer alert because I was stating a fact.
Well, you guys have been talking about the Saints for the last 35 minutes.
Well, that's what we do.
I'm just bringing that up.
Well, actually, you know what? That's a good point, Kenny. Let's
move on.
Let's move to the other Homer game. Bobo, what are your thoughts on the Packers?
Before that, I actually want to talk about a surprise game that you kind of mentioned on, so I figured we just go ahead and continue with it.
Okay.
Fournette and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Saxonville,
Wasn't
10
that
sacks.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, sad because they lost Allen Robinson, which is
that was
their
a
best
bummer.
Players. Which when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's fucked up.
I shied away
Apparently,
from him.
the Houston Texans they got all kinds of injuries in that
So-
game, didn't they? I think 5 players came out with a concussion.
Tom
the question
Savage
is-
is not good.
Is
I'm sorry.
Jacksonville that good, or is Houston that bad, or are they good and bad? Is Jacksonville good and Houston still bad?
I have that same
Yeah.
question about Alex Smith versus that horrible Pats defense. I mean, is he really that improved? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of questions
Well, I
from
mean,
week
he's
one
been
like
playing
that.
football for a while now. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, step it up a notch. I mean,
don't
he's
know.
been fucking throwing the ball for I don't know how long now. If he's still in the league, he has to have something he can do.
He's got Mahomes riding him. I think that he saw the writing on the wall. He needed to start opening up a little bit.
Yeah.
He definitely did. To answer your question, Bobo, I think it's a combination of the two. I think the Jags, they finally got Fowler back, who's been injured. They got a lot of good defensive players, and they sacked.
That they do.
They sacked Savage 10
But
times.
Savage is shit.
Savage is shit.
Now, is the Texans O-line shit? I didn't get to see that game, which is why I'm really asking.
No,
the
dude,
question.
I saw bits and pieces of
they
it.
were just getting to him, and they can't do anything on offense. Savage couldn't complete passes. Like when they put in Watson, they had a little bit of a spark, but it was almost too late. And the way that Jacksonville was running the ball, they had the ball a lot. Fournette was just murdering people.
Yeah, he had a great game, and I mean, I wanted to say this before I know what's coming. No, he's a great runner. My biggest concern with Fournette is what I said was is his health. That is it. The guy's an awesome runner. He clearly proved that. His health is what I worry about, especially if he starts taking on a huge load over there in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. And I certainly don't wish that on a player. I don't like seeing anybody get hurt. I yelled at a.
Oh, Savage was pulled in the game?
Savage was-
yeah,
they put in
just after the
Watson.
second quarter.
His first drive, he threw a touchdown pass to
Watson
Nuke
did?
Hopkins. Yeah, he gives them a chance to win, which Savage doesn't.
The only problem is that he also has a chance to get injured and hurt early in his career because it's Texas. That's what they do to young quarterbacks when their team.
Yeah,
that whole division's up in the air. They need to do something. The Colts are dead.
Deshaun Watson.
there's it.
Deshaun Watson will be starting for the Texans this
Yeah,
Sunday.
already starting.
He'll be starting, and that means what's up? Deshaun Watson will be starting, and that will make him the 9th starting quarterback for the Houston Texans since 2014.
That's a lot.
That's a whole lot, man.
That's Cleveland numbers right there.
That is passing Cleveland numbers. Like Cleveland sounds bad on a long-term scale. Like for 20 years they've had a lot of them, but this is 2014. That's just a couple years ago. I mean, and they've already had 9 quarterbacks.
That's a lot.
In fairness, they didn't sack Savage 10 times. They sacked the Texans 10 times.
Okay.
So
They got 10 sacks.
they got 10 sacks in the game against the Texans.
There you go.
And I'm not trying to make excuses, but they did have other things happen in the offseason that's kind of a distraction.
Texans have-
Another surprise game in that we saw this week was there was another game on Monday night. The Broncos and the Chargers. While the Broncos won, I thought they would, the Chargers.
That was pretty funny.
The Chargers, they pulled something together in that game that was a
Yeah.
lot prettier looking than we've seen. I mean, it's never been a big question if can Phillip Rivers play. The dude could play, but I mean, at one point in time, it looked like they were going to tie that game, but the icing at
They
the
got
end,
Keenan Allen back.
and then
Yeah, they got good receiver, good quarterback. Well, yeah,
Tight
he's a
end.
good quarterback, good
Melvin
Tight end,
Gordon.
yeah.
running back now.
Well, Hunter Henry didn't catch a ball.
he didn't. But I mean, he's expected to have. He had a good year last year. He's expected to have a bounce back game this Sunday, from what I understand.
That team has done less with more consistently.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I mean, there's still Antonio Gates over there.
That dude is going to play till he's like 50.
Yeah, that man he has like 5 turf toes. He has turf toe every year. And just keeps on going, man. That dude's always turf toed up.
But I don't know. I mean, do you think this might be the year the Chargers might actually try to turn this around? I mean, they've had disastrous numbers.
I think they honestly try and win every year. I really do.
Yeah,
I
mean,
think they honestly try. It's just catastrophes that start happening whenever.
It's a tough division. You got the Raiders,
there's
you got the
that.
Chiefs, you got the Broncos.
As a Saints fan, I definitely understand how that goes.
I mean, how many last minute losses and bullshit nonsense and zoom ins on old dude's face
Oh,
and
dude.
something weird just happened? Happens to them all the time, man. So yeah, I don't think they're that bad. I think they just have a string of bad luck over there in San Diego. Ever since they got rid of Marty Schottenheimer.
You mean
It's LA.
it's Los Angeles
Oh,
now?
yeah, Los Angeles.
It's
Yeah, people are having such a hard time with that.
They have the same initials now on TV as the LA Clippers, but it's really funny too because that stadium they play in is a StubHub Field, which now makes it currently, because they won't be there for that long, but it makes it the smallest stadium to host an NFL team. It only holds like 30,000 people.
The StubHub Field?
Yeah, where the LA Galaxy play.
Oh,
It
really?
only holds like 30,000 people. The Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium holds 3,000 less than that. But what's really funny though is there is a person from San Diego that was that clearly has a lot of money, that was so distraught about this move that paid a crap load of money to pay for a billboard that's going to run for 3 days leading up to the game this Sunday. That is going on against boycotting the NFL. That it's all about money. That LA didn't deserve this team, and it's we stand with Oakland, we stand with San Diego, and we stand with St. Louis Rams. It was I saw pictures of it on SportsCenter's website and stuff
Yeah,
like
I heard
that.
about that.
Like this person is really upset about all that, and I mean, I won't lie to an extent. I sort of don't blame them. I mean, they just kind of took those teams away from over there, but there were reasons behind it though. They the cities were.
I hope that isn't who I think.
The cities were completely against wanting to give these teams new stadiums, and they needed them. I mean, look at Minnesota Stadium compared to the old San Diego Stadium.
We're getting a phone call, man.
All right, we got a phone call coming on. John wants a lightning reference. Thank you.
How y'all doing?
Hey, what's up, man? Welcome to the Underground Pub Show. Who's this?
Man, I've been watching the show. This me, Charles Barkley. I was just trying to, I'm sitting here with Kenny.
Dude, I had this feeling that Charles Barkley would call.
I
the
was
show.
hoping Charles Barkley was going to call tonight. Barkley, what's up, man?
I love your show.
You don't think
Y'all
it? You
show
don't?
my favorite show.
You don't think it's
I've ever
terrible?
seen in my life. It's probably my favorite show.
Well, thanks, man. I really like Inside the NBA too. So,
Oh man,
like, if you give a
it's-
shout out to
it's-
us on your show, we'll plug Inside the NBA.
no, it's on the NBA. Okay, it's okay, but it's not anywhere like the Underground Pub Show.
Would you say compared to the
You
Underground?
agree with me? Y'all stuff is so much better.
Would you say compared to the Underground Pub Show, Inside the NBA is terrible?
Yeah, we all try to take notes. We every time before the basketball game, we look at your show and we gotta take notes from these guys because they know what they're doing, especially the black guy.
You're like, isn't that right, Kenny?
Wait, huh?
That's right. I was telling you.
Yeah, the guy Inside the NBA, his name's Kenny too. So,
Oh wow.
But what was y'all's last topic? What were y'all talking about? Because I was trying to comment on that.
We were
I've been on hold for a while.
we had just stopped talking about whether it was right for the NFL to move the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Rams to new locations, specifically LA with 2 of them.
I mean, it's all for money. That's what they need to do. That's understandable. Were y'all disagree with what they try to say?
Not necessarily. We were making mention of a billboard that went up in Los Angeles about that somebody paid for from San Diego, showing that they weren't happy about it at all, to say the least.
About who?
About the NFL moving the teams.
what team?
The Chargers being moved to LA.
Normally, I would complain about a caller doing this, but this is epic,
The
man.
Chargers, not the Raiders, not the Raiders going over to Vegas. You're talking about the Chargers going over there.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Well, you know,
They
Kevin
didn't
Johnson
go
and
far.
I almost feel like I'm really talking to Charles Barkley now.
And Charles Barkley legitimately called the show. That's awesome.
I know, right? It's like I'm pretty happy about
Yeah,
this.
that's why wouldn't y'all be happy with me calling the show?
How about them Seahawks,
I'm
Charles
one of the
Barkley?
greatest.
No, you
The
definitely.
Seahawks, my friend Adam is really good fan. He loves those guys. I don't know much about them. You know, I'm a big, you know, I play for Alabama, Auburn, that area. I can see Bubba is so happy that I called.
No, honestly, my headset's not working, so I'm kind of listening to you as you talk.
Oh
to
yeah,
me.
that's right. He does. Yeah,
Oh.
he doesn't have a.
Okay, well, I got to go because me and Kenny, we about to hang out. We going to the strip club. So
Well, hell yeah.
good to see you guys. Good to talk to you guys.
Well, thank you for calling the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate
Bye-bye
it.
now.
Appreciate it, Barkley. Take it easy. All right, so just curious, was your headset really not working? You just
No, it really wasn't.
really.
Yeah, it wasn't
Oh,
working.
you should've
Not
said-
plugged in?
I don't know. I mean, when I realized it wasn't working, I was like, okay, I wasn't upset or
It looks.
disappointed.
Yeah,
Told me.
it
No,
looks.
no, it was fine. It was fine. I was fine with it not working.
I'm pretty sure he got the gist of what was going on.
Yeah,
there,
there's
like-
a lot of gist happening there.
You know,
I
at the
got all of
beginning
it.
of that call, you guys know who I thought it was. And I'm sure Bubba was already like, thank God my headset is not working today.
Well, I didn't even try it until then, and then I took it off immediately and smiled to myself. Like, oh, my headset doesn't work.
Someone in the chat said Bubba knows all the celebs.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
true.
I mean, yes, I do know celebs. I don't know.
Who's your favorite celeb?
Who's my favorite celeb?
Yeah.
Male or female?
Both. Let's do both.
No, why would I do that?
Anyway, for off topic, Bobo, the Cash Me Outside girl has a new rap song out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Who's in their Who's in the song with her?
Some guy with a Uzi or an
Uzi
AK.
Vert?
He
Like,
doesn't have an
Is
Uzi,
it
does he?
Uzi
No,
Vert?
he's got an AK. Like he's in a tank top with an AK, and then she's talking about these hoes.
Yeah, like
Like,
it's literally every other
obviously.
word. Like,
Yeah,
just
it's called
hoes,
These
hoes.
Hoes is the name.
Oh,
of
it's called These Hoes.
Yeah,
so
like, she
you
talks
can't
about these
forget
hoes.
And it's
what
about
called.
these hoes.
She has like money like CeeLo with these hoes talking shit, and
She has money like CeeLo?
yeah, I guess she's got money
That
like
that
CeeLo.
that is actually
reference.
that is actually like a lyric in the song. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see the other girl.
You,
with
you
the
couldn't
rap
pay her
song.
to no one. That's one of the lyrics too.
Yeah,
You couldn't pay me to no one.
You couldn't pay her to no one. And
You couldn't
these-
what?
I
Yeah,
guess
you couldn't pay her to know any of these hoes.
Yeah, the hoes like she rolls by herself.
And there was a lot of Cash Me Outside references and like it. Yeah, I mean, homegirl's still doing it. It's sad but true, man. She's still out there doing it.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I know. I said the same thing too whenever I first saw that video. I was like, what?
And
What is happening with my world?
it's an epic video, man. They'll probably,
Yeah,
they'll probably
that-
win an award if they still do they still have MTV video awards?
They do, but I mean, I don't know why. Like, I mean, if they're gonna start doing MTV awards now, they should do it for reality TV and not music videos.
Okay.
Like,
Well-
they don't show music videos on MTV.
Well,
at
she
all.
should
Like,
win. And I did going like off
1999
topic,
called. They want your bitch back.
Oh yeah.
going off topic, and then we'll go back to football. Saw the movie It this past weekend.
No, you did actually see it.
It is phenomenal.
I've heard nothing but good things
saw
so
it?
far.
I saw It.
And Bubba
Yeah.
would agree, since CJ said it's phenomenal, that means it absolutely is garbage.
No, it is awesome. It's
I've heard a
very-
lot of
it's-
people say this was good. Actually,
It goes more towards how the book was, and obviously being rated R, there's a lot more gore to it.
I heard it didn't go with the book.
No, it followed the book more than the original TV series.
yeah.
I mean, there's-
People were. I heard people were like upset that it was like different from the original TV.
So
series.
the underage orgy was in the movie?
No, it was not. Okay, for those that haven't read the book, spoiler alert, there is an underage orgy in the
It's
book.
a
and
virgin
there's,
party of weird, strange this
Yeah,
weird.
well, they have to be connected to defeat it. So in the book, they
thought they
have
could-
sex with each other.
I thought
to-
they couldn't leave the tunnel unless they were unless they were no
No,
longer
no, like
virgins.
they had a they realized that them bonding together as a group is what gives them the power over it. So in the book, they decide that they should have a big gangbang, basically, and
But
that
there's,
would.
and there's only one girl, right?
There's one girl.
Yes.
Yeah. There's
And
one
they're
girl
like
and
12
like six.
and 11 years old?
Yeah. There's one girl and there's 6 guys. So
No kidding. Jesus.
yes,
That's,
dude,
that is
like,
gruesome.
dude, like the
Let's
book,
be honest, we all knew a girl back then. You know what I'm saying?
At 11 or 12?
and I'm
Dude,
pretty
yeah.
sure,
dude, the
I
book.
grew up in a rough part of town, man.
and they explain in detail, like
Yes,
she
they-
explains their penises, right?
Yes, like she can pick him up out of a lineup. So I mean,
This 12-year-old girl, by the way.
yes,
If I
12.
hadn't
Like,
made
well,
that
she's had a
perfectly
lot
clear.
of sexual history with her dad, and like that was like a lot of her like her problem with like that's what she was afraid of, like because it goes against your fear, and so she had to overcome it, lack of a better word. But like a lot of the other bullies, they go into more sordid detail in the book that they don't do in the movie. But the kid from Stranger Things,
Yeah,
who plays
yeah,
Richie,
he's in this,
fantastic in
yeah.
that movie. There's jump scares in it, but they actually work because they don't rely on them too much.
So they do play loud music to try and get you to.
No, it's not like "Hua!" Like how like The Conjuring 2 is nothing but
Do that again for
jump
me,
scares.
CJ,
Yeah.
please.
Hua!
Yeah. So there's
Yeah,
not a lot. Of that.
yeah. Like
Okay. 'Cause
it-
those are annoying.
oh, they are like jump scares just for the sake of having a jump scare
Yeah.
is terrible. Like,
Like
the only
those
reason they
Insidious
work.
movies.
CJ's jump scare was like Al Pacino.
Dude, like, if you're scared, no, like the idea is you got to set the tension.
You do.
and
you
like, and
shouldn't
then
need
that's when
anything
you,
but that.
yeah. But when you're just like, okay,
You're like, bing,
here's a beat, music beat, jump scare.
Yeah.
Music beat, jump scare. Like Annabelle, Conjuring 2.
That
like,
Annabelle
like,
is jump scare bell.
the
Yeah.
most I've ever
jump
seen.
scare bell.
Yeah,
That like literally, I saw the first Annabelle in theaters, and every scary part in that whole movie was in the previews.
well, yeah.
They were all in the previews. Like the scariest part was whenever like the door shuts and the little girl runs at it and then turns into a crazy witch. Like
As they do.
yeah, as they tend to do when little doors run at
Was there
girls.
like a
when
backwards
girls run at
running
doors.
up a wall scene. They always have that too.
yeah,
It doesn't-
mhm.
you know what I mean. The little. Normally, if it's a kid in it, though, are there little kids that get?
If they're like,
possessed or
if
anything?
in ghost movies, if ghost movies that take place in like a time period like the 20s and 30s,
Yeah.
the last thing that you want to have around are little girls and pianos.
Yes.
Pianos are bad fucking news.
But little kids always seem to like walk backwards up a wall, like every single time in those movies. I'm like, why does every little kid in these movies have to walk backwards up a wall?
Like even
What?
even in
creepy, super extended shoulder blades
like
and shit.
weird supernatural class that goes
even
through,
in like the
the
original
wall
Exorcist,
walking.
the original Exorcist, like
The spider crawl
yeah,
down the
like
stairs.
as great of a movie as that was, like when the spider crawl down the stairs happened, that was relatively early on.
That started it. That's where people go to for that.
And they
But
do it
like,
in that shaky stop motion style,
that-
right?
But like what's funny about that part in that movie is like that happened still early on and like before they weren't really sure what was going on. I ever see my son do something like that, I'm immediately calling a priest. Like immediately.
Or a
And
rabbi.
And I am not or a rabbi. Like I might call them both. I'm not religious, but I ever see my kid do that shit, then yeah, all bets are off. Like I'm not calling a shrink or anything like that because that she was literally bit behind. Like I just don't understand. Like that's like kind of the only flaw in that movie is like, did you really have any other questions after that? Like, yeah, your kid's fucked. Like it's time to get some answers. Like right now.
I think you should watch it though. It's really good.
No, actually, I plan on taking my girlfriend to see it next week for
Yeah,
her birthday.
and then I saw a Rough Night last night. That was terrible.
yeah, well, that
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Baywatch tonight probably. So
I'm going to watch the brand new episode of South Park that starts tonight, which
Yes.
I could not be more excited about.
well, there's
And,
also more games that we should probably talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about games.
Let's talk about games.
What games were we on?
Oh yeah, and the Orville, I'm going to watch that too tonight.
well,
What's
I do
funny?
want to watch the South
Was it
Park.
good?
I liked it, but people might not like it. But I thought it was funny because of the jokes they're making. For me, as a Trekkie fan, was very. I got them all. I got every single one of them. But it's just the small references he makes to Star Trek. Like even the way the font is on the ships, even
Yeah.
everything is just the same, except they're just taking this offbeat path about Star Wars with a lot of humor or Star Trek with a lot of humor in the background. I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny.
That's gonna be my evening
opening
tonight. Is the
scene is
Orville
like
and South Park.
The very first 5 minutes, you're going to laugh.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're gonna laugh at, and you'd be like, "That was funny."
All right. Well, I'll probably send you a message right when it happens tonight. Yeah. Let's get back into the NFL. And let's. I think we pretty much covered last week. Let's look into this week.
Well, there's plenty of games we didn't touch on. We didn't talk about the Niners
yeah.
and Carolina.
We've got.
We didn't talk about the Giants and the Cowboys. We didn't talk about the
Green
Redskins.
Bay
Eagles.
and
Oh yeah, there was a.
Seattle.
There,
Seattle, Green Bay.
Sleepful in
my
Seattle.
my,
as I call that game.
my apologies, gentlemen. Let's go back
Cleveland
to.
versus Pittsburgh. Deshaun Kaiser
That was a
actually
good
looked
game,
That was,
actually.
yeah, that was a good game actually. The Pittsburgh and Cleveland game.
So let's keep going. Let's just go ahead and try and get as much game chat as we can until the end of the show.
Yeah, and can I go back to talking about the
Did
Jags?
anybody
Go for
ever
it.
bring up the fact that Oklahoma
Oklahoma beat
Ohio
Ohio
State?
State.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
haven't done
Forgot about that, too.
We're
We-
so
we-
chock full of information these days. It's hard to get everything like out there. We need our people in the chat to keep us. In
Yeah, hey, and
Yeah,
if you
right.
want to talk about any of these games, 850-906-7686. Oklahoma beat Ohio State and then put their flag in the middle of the field. There was crap about that.
I thought it was
Pittsburgh beat
hilarious.
Cleveland, but Cleveland actually looked like a competitive team.
Yeah, Deshaun Kaiser. He maybe the guy over there.
Maybe.
I mean,
Kick it like a
we
Kaiser.
might actually have somebody that could be sticking around in Cleveland for a little while.
Stick around in Cleveland, throw the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
Run the ball.
might actually do some things. Maybe win some games.
Cleveland's defense looked
might,
pretty
might,
good.
might make a playoff appearance one day.
Yeah,
Who knows?
possibly. Who makes the playoffs next? The Jets or the Browns? Legit question.
The Browns.
Yeah,
You think
I
the
said the Browns
I didn't get to see
too.
much jet action.
I mean,
How
this
was
could be
it?
like 5 years from now, but like.
Well, did anyone see the jet action?
I did not.
The Jets and the
I know the
Bills,
Jets kept it
they
close,
played a
but-
football game, but I don't think anybody actually watched it.
The people in the stands, like I think they watched it.
They were on their phones looking at other games.
Yeah,
And then
probably they were checking their fantasy scores the whole time and drinking $8 beers. I'm sure whatever stadium that was in, they don't have the walking taco though.
There was a guy that I saw that took off his Bills shirt, and he said he's done. He ended up being a Steeler fan by the end of the day.
Really?
Yeah, I guess he's been a fan his whole life, and then this was the final straw.
But nobody circles the wagon.
Yeah, like the Buffalo Bills, the longest stretch with no playoffs, man. 99. It's a long time.
That is brutal, man. That is brutal.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Philly looked pretty good against the Redskins.
I didn't see any of that game. All I know is that Kirk Cousins fucked me royally, and it was the first time I've ever had him in fantasy.
Yeah, first ever had ever. Everyone's talking about all this shit this dude can do. I put him on my teams. Shit everywhere, but I still won. But there was shit everywhere.
I did
Yeah.
not.
No,
win.
I didn't win. I lost to Vernon
In the Coyotes League?
by like 12 points because my quarterback couldn't put up any points.
Yep, I lost
I
in
had
the
Galaxy on the bench.
I lost
that
in the
sucks.
O'Charlie's league
Yeah,
thanks
it's
to
all shit.
Kirk Cousins. Well, one of the reasons.
So before we go on the games, what was your biggest fantasy regret for your teams this week? Bobo, I'll start with you.
Benching
Gillis
Galaxy
League?
in my Coyotes league is probably my biggest regret.
Who'd you
'Cause
start
all the
over
other- It was Isaiah Crowell, Le'Veon Bell, and DeMarco Murray.
Dude, Bell shit the bed more than anybody.
So he actually.
I kind of
so
saw that coming.
It was a combination of that, but obviously, if I had him in, I would have won. But I shouldn't have had him in with that lineup. I should have won, because of that. I mean, I lost 12 points. So Cousins and Bell alone should be able to cover the 12 because they both scored like what, fucking the total of 15.
Yeah.
That's just horrible.
No one would have started freaking Gillisley over Bell. Like,
No.
there's no way you can do this.
I guess right now my biggest fantasy. Well, I've got two of them. I mean, obviously Andy Dalton's one of them. I mean, because you just.
I went against him in one of my leagues.
Ne-
That
ne-
was fun.
Yeah, negative points, and then another one. It's by default, but another one is David Johnson. He was my first overall pick in the Coyotes league, and I mean now I just
Can't
lost.
really help that though. That's
Can't help it, but right now I kind of wish I hadn't taken him because now I'm out a first round pick for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
But your next
or
pick
3
would have been
months.
Le'Veon Bell. Well, I mean, I guess he probably he's
I
played
mean,
the rest of the year.
I sort of figured that Le'Veon Bell would do poorly in this game. I feel like he's gonna bounce back quick though. Maybe either I can't remember who they play this week, but
I have him
with-
in
with-
2 leagues, by the way.
3 weeks I think he does well.
Man, Kerwin Williams.
Yeah,
I picked him up
Did
in
you?
one of them. The other one didn't bother because I'm so stacked. I was like, fuck it.
Schreiber got him.
That's good for you.
I got him in one of them, man.
Bobo's about as far as the mic as I think he's ever been.
And then there was that Packers game against the sleepless Seattle Seahawks.
Sleepless.
Sleeping?
The whole team was basically sleepless. But I'm glad, that Green Bay won. And Seattle's defense is Seattle's defense. But I had no problems with that game. It was a pretty good game.
Yeah.
I wish Bennett would have got more involved.
Yeah, it was a tight game.
I could have liked to see a little bit more out of
The Seahawks have a bad offensive
Devontae
line.
Adams.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, it definitely wasn't what you would expect in the Green Bay game. But Green Bay versus Seattle, that was pretty much how I thought things were going to
I
go.
want Jimmy Graham back, man. They're not using him anyway. Just give him back.
Just give him back.
Just give him back. You're not using him.
we took their best center, but
Yeah, I mean,
just give him back.
just give him back.
We'll give him Adrian Peterson for it.
Thoughts on
Any
Terrell
thoughts
Pryor?
on Terrell Pryor?
Terrell Pryor. Like I said, I didn't see any of that game, so unfortunately I can't answer that question, Richie. And I didn't
He was
play.
pretty good, but Kirk Cousins looked like shite.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins did not look good. I mean, maybe there's something that these Redskins know that we do not. You know, 'cause, I mean, he's 2 years now. He looked really good, and they still didn't want to give him a contract. And
Yeah.
so I don't know. I mean,
Another game we didn't talk about is the Bears and the Falcons, the defending NFC title.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, the Bears were right there and probably should have won, but Jordan Howard dropped a game-winning catch.
But like I was telling people about that game, we don't know how good Chicago is going to be at this point. They've made a lot of changes in their off seasons. A lot of changes. We don't know what we could be seeing here. But yeah, Atlanta should have just not had any problems at all with them. But who knows? Week 4, week 5, we might see like a fucking 5-1 or 4-1 Chicago team. We're like, maybe they're not that bad.
Tarek
So,
Cohen looked pretty good.
yeah,
The
their
back-
running game looks solid. They
Yeah.
have who's the other guy too?
Jordan Howard, who
Yeah.
I have, and I try to get the backup Cohen, but
And sometimes, man-
Nate, I guess, spent $1 billion on him in our league because I put 20 on the waiver wire, and
That's
I didn't
that's
get him.
what the people do in week 1.
Yeah, they panic.
Yeah, Panic City.
Well, I picked up Josh Gordon today, and
Yeah,
that's my
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. I'm not falling for that banana tailpipe ever
No,
again.
banana tailpipe.
I've done
That's
that way too
Josh
many
Gordon.
times.
No, I will say he won me the league in the Coyotes league, so I will always have that soft spot for Gordon. You know, hoping
Fair
on
enough.
hope that he can come back from his terrible weed addiction because
I,
weed is such a bad thing.
I didn't really see any of it,
Yeah,
but I had Derek Carr. I mean, I know Kenny probably watched it. The Raiders game. I mean, I heard Lynch was a quiet hero in that game, from what I've read.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do, let's just put it this way. He had a big impact on a few runs. Let's just,
He did fine, I think. I think he didn't get a touchdown. He's getting overlooked. But he had like, 90-something complete total yards that game?
He hasn't played in a while. either.
Yeah, no. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
He had a great game, but what I'm saying is, he had a couple big runs on very few plays, basically.
Yeah.
Heard.
But he just keeps going and going and going. Eventually just adds up. And next you know, he has 100 yards.
Yeah.
But they looked, I thought they looked great. And your receiver, what's his fucking name?
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper,
No, the other guy.
Mike
Crabtree.
No, I thought it was the third guy.
Oh, Seth
The new
Roberts,
guy.
our slot guy. Well, he's not new.
Is it not- well, he's new to me.
Out
I
of,
was like,
out of
who's
all
this
the
young
out of
man?
all the receivers on the staff right now, he has the most touchdown pass. I mean, it's I saw a stat. It's
No, Cliff. It's a Miller Lite.
any in a game where Seth Roberts has caught a touchdown pass, we're like 12 and 12 of those we've won, one we've lost, something
Yeah.
like that.
Heard.
My ADD.
Oh yeah, I've been messing with this thing throughout the whole show, but between that and drinking beer.
My biggest regret is actually in that Falcons Bears game. I got micromanager happy. Like right before the game start, I took out Austin Hooper and put in Evan Ingram.
Ouch.
And Austin Hooper only had 2 catches, but it was for 120 yards and a touchdown. So
And Evan Ingram was basically dead.
yeah, I wouldn't have won anyway, but still, it would have looked better.
Right.
Well,
I think that covers all the games from last week. We've got a little less than 10 minutes, so let's kind of go down through some of these games coming up. Tomorrow, Texans-Bengals. Both teams had a pretty forgettable week 1, to say the least. Do you think? I mean, I'm hoping. I'm giving Andy Dalton one last chance in that league. I don't feel good about it, but I'm doing it. It's against.
I almost forgot. Did you see what happened to Dalton after the game? was walking off.
People yelled, "You suck!" and they wanted
You
Carson
suck.
Palmer back.
We want Carson back. And
Yeah.
then someone threw his hat at him as he's walking.
Yeah.
We want Carson back.
I do remember
But
that.
I'm sure the Arizona fans would be happy to give
I,
him
I,
up
I was like, sounds like a trade to me.
So,
for crap.
so Texans Bengals tomorrow night. Who you guys liking in this one?
Bengals. No, that's too quick to say. No, Bengals. It has to be the Bengals.
I'm liking
if
the
it's
Bengals
not,
too.
they're just
Yeah,
people are getting fired and
If
traded.
if the Bengals don't win this one tomorrow, then I would drop just about every Bengal you have in fantasy and start fearing for the worst Bengals fans if that one happens.
I want to go Texans, but I'm gonna go Bengals.
Heard.
I think the Bengals bounce back, and the Texans. I just don't like their offense at all right now.
It's
Like,
going to be a work in progress over there, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
I think Deshaun could be good one day.
I don't
Could be,
want
but-
to say that Jacksonville is worse than what they showed, but I want to see. I don't know. I think the Bengals are going to beat them.
Heard that. Bills and Panthers. That game going on in Carolina. I'm kind of feeling the Panthers on this one. It looks like they're starting to turn things around over there. I don't think the Bills are a schmuck team this year, but I'm liking the Panthers in this one. What do you think, Bobo?
Yeah, I have to agree.
Okay, CJ.
Panthers. I have too many Panthers on my fantasy team, so
Fair enough. Bears and Bucks. This will be the Bucks' first game of the year. That game going on in Tampa Bay. This is going to be my weird pick for the week. I would like to see the Bucks come out there and give the Tampa fans a show, considering they've had a pretty bad week. I think the Bears go in there and beat them. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Bears win that one.
I think due to hurricane juice, hurricane mojo, as a lot of teams, especially the Saints, who were able to use that to win a Super Bowl.
Didn't seem
I
to
think
work out
due
for
to-
Houston.
I think the hurricane mojo was the hurricane. Yeah, I guess the hurricane did happen before that game. No, fuck. I'm still going with the Bucks.
Heard? Okay.
Fuck hurricane mojo logic. I'm still going with the Bucks.
Heard that, CJ?
I'll go Bucks too.
Heard that.
I think the Bears are still a little bit away, and I don't like Glennon. They should might as well put in Trubisky. Just let him go.
This game now.
He's like the male version of your friend with a beak.
Yeah.
The beak? Oh,
Meredith?
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's definitely got a beak.
A little bit, yeah. This game definitely could end up being
Very
pretty interesting.
bird-like.
Minnesota Vikings versus the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. That is an intriguing one right there, Bobo. Who do you think on this one?
I've heard people saying that the Steelers have a good defense this year. Like it's kind of back, like better than it's been,
Yeah,
because it has been kind of
They're like
poultry since Tebow lit them up in the playoffs. They haven't been the same since. Honestly,
That's like around the time Palomalu left.
yeah. I mean, they were. You know,
Like,
obviously
they got their-
Pittsburgh was like pretty much when you talk about defense, that was the first thing coming out of your mouth. Then, so I think maybe they're on their way back. I don't know if
They
that's
got
going to
their
be
foot in the door.
enough to stop the Vikings right now because I'm sure they're feeling pretty confident. But I think the Vikings have a better defense overall, and offensively, we know Pittsburgh what they're capable of. One of the best offenses in the league, but Minnesota's offense is looking quite good these days. So I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to give it to who's at home.
it's in the
Steelers.
I'll give
Steelers.
the Steelers then.
Heard
Only
that?
because they're at home.
I'm liking Minnesota in this one. I'm thinking I mean, really, it is a coin toss with these two teams. Both looking hot right now. Both got a lot of big playmakers on their team. Minnesota does have a little bit more youth on their team, which could go one of two ways. I'm going to give it to Minnesota on this one, though. CJ, how you feeling?
Man, the Vikings look like the best team on planet Earth right now. But I'm going to go with Pittsburgh just because, like Boba said, it's at home. And I got Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown
Heard that.
on my fantasy team. So,
Probably one of the more unintriguing matchups this week, the Arizona Cardinals versus the Indianapolis Colts. That's an easy one right there. I am taking the Cardinals. The Colts look bad this year. They look real bad. That offense is a mess right now. It is really a mess. And unfortunately, I have several Colts spread throughout all my fantasy teams.
One
Dude,
free from one team.
I got-
he's benched already. He's
I
fine.
got Frank Gore and I've got T.Y. Hilton, and I'm not feeling good about it.
Frank
So.
Old Man Gore.
yeah.
He's 80 years old.
He won't be starting this week anymore. But
He'll be- Okay.
in Bob's league, in that fucking bullshit 11-man league or
14-man
14-man
league.
keeper league.
Oh,
that had the 11th pick in.
I managed to get running backs galore in that league, but fair enough.
I did not. I did not, man. I couldn't seem. I just. It was. I mean, that team is the definition of fantasy quicksand. I got Isaiah Crowell and a bunch of bullshit after that. But it was just like I said, it was the pure definition of fantasy quicksand.
That team does look terrible, man.
Yeah,
I looked at it. I was like, "Geez, my team sucks too." But
It was the 11th pick in a 14-man keeper league, and the best player I had on my team last year was DeAndre Hopkins. So I started off bad already. So
hey, Hopkins had a TD last week, man. If Watson goes in there,
best player on my team in that league so far.
it's still week 1. You never know. Your team could look like awesome 4 weeks from now.
I'm not holding my fucking breath for that.
I
shit.
won't hold my breath for your team either. It looks pretty bad.
I'm not. That's probably the worst fantasy team I've ever had. And I mean, I know how to draft a fantasy team. It was just there. I mean, with that pick in a 14-man keeper league, it's just like CJ said, it's quicksand. I mean, you just constantly going down the hole in that one.
You can't get
There
out
is
of it.
no violence, no speed, and no momentum here whatsoever.
Nope, not.
By the way,
that one.
that's not my phrase. That phrase is Dr. God damn, I almost forgot his name. Dr. Disrespect's catchphrase. I'm just borrowing it.
Okay.
Just for copyright and
fragments.
all that good stuff.
So
So Bobo, Cardinals, Colts. Who you liking?
Cardinals.
Okay, cool. CJ,
We
Cardinals.
just skipped
Dude.
that one.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
yeah, I'm going Cardinals. I don't
There's
think
no
the
need
Colts
to
are going to win a
discuss.
game.
Yeah.
Until the Colts do something, we don't have to discuss them winning a game.
All right. Cool.
They're-
I'll just skip over this.
Here's a question: Are they as bad as the Jets were supposed to be? I think they're as bad as the Jets were supposed to be.
I think
they're worse.
I think the only. I don't know if I'd go that far. I think the only thing the Colts actually. Well, no, never mind. I take that back because there is one player on the Jets that might actually do something for him, just like there is one player on the Colts that might actually do something.
Hopefully,
for
that
him.
President Frank Gore.
No, I was referring to T.Y. Hilton. But
Dude,
T.Y. Hilton,
I
unless
really
he's running
think
in the backfield, because if not,
I used to love having T.Y. Hilton on my team, on my fantasy teams, but that was when he had Andrew Luck throwing it to him. I mean, we talked about this game earlier, so we'll just skip over this quickly. Patriots, Saints. Just because it's my team, I'm gonna say the Saints out of
it
faith.
is at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna out of faith.
that doesn't really matter.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. I mean, it was week 1. The Saints lost by less than what
it
the
was
Patriots.
weak.
The Saints lost by less than what the Patriots lost to at home defending a championship. I'm going to take the Saints. I feel like they turned this around. I mean, I'm taking this also off of faith. So I'll take the Saints in that one.
Patriots.
Heard. I mean, we're going through all of them, so I'm just
Patriots. No,
Heard.
it's fine. I'm just laughing because of the decision I have to make.
heard. Browns, Ravens. Another. Wow, that's 2 division games in a row for the Browns. That's odd. Browns and Ravens. That game in Baltimore. Even though I'm rooting for the Browns to make a comeback one day, it doesn't start yet. I think they lose this game to the Ravens. It looks like we were talking about defenses in that division. Steelers. The Steelers have their defense is kind of back. The Ravens one looked pretty good too.
They did. I heard talk about them too.
Suggs was having a pretty outstanding game in that day. So yeah, I'm taking the Ravens on that one.
I'm taking the old Browns over the new Browns. Ravens.
Heard.
I'm taking the old Browns over the new Browns too.
Yeah, like the old
No.
Browns.
Yes, I'm taking the Browns. That's what I'm trying to say.
You're actually gonna go
Yeah,
with
I'm going for the Browns. My mind's getting confused. I'm going for the Cleveland Browns.
heard
Yeah.
that.
Well, because I mean, they would be the old Browns because they moved to Baltimore and then.
Yeah, I figured that out halfway through my answer. I was like, no, that's not what I
No,
want.
I'm going for the Ravens. So y'all are both going for the Browns, or are you going for the Ravens?
I would like to see the Browns win. I
No,
think the
he's going
Ravens win.
I'm only going for the Browns.
okay.
I'll be happy if the Browns win. I think the Ravens win though. This is also gonna looking like it's gonna be a much better game than expected. Eagles and Chiefs. That game's gonna be in Kansas City. I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs on this one. I think they're gonna be riding a little bit high off of their.
They're the opposite of the Colts. You keep taking them until they lose.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. Yeah, you do.
No, I'd say that too. I mean, after that big upset against the Patriots.
I mean, they could lose.
So we're all
on
for
Monday.
the we're all for the
whatever,
Chiefs.
Sounds like it. Titans and Jaguars. That game's going to be in Jacksonville. There's some Hurricane mojo going on with that game, too, because Jacksonville got hit pretty hard and all that. The game will be played as expected in Jacksonville. I will go with Jacksonville on this one. I think they're going to be feeling pretty good after their victory last week. I think Fournette doesn't get hurt in this game yet, so I think he's gonna have another big game.
It's at the Jacksonville.
It's in Jacksonville. I'm gonna take Jacksonville in this one.
You are? It is at home. I want to say Jacksonville, but I'm going to go ahead and say Jacksonville.
Okay, heard.
I'm gonna go Jacksonville, and I'm also gonna say that they're gonna win the division this year.
Here is an extremely easy one, or well, it should be. Jets and Raiders in Oakland. I think we're all gonna probably agree the Raiders gonna probably win that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. All right, moving on. The Dolphins will be playing the LA Chargers in the first official game of the NFL at StubHub Stadium, the 30,000 seat home of the LA Galaxy, now home of the LA Chargers until next couple years. I think the Dolphins win that game. I do. I think we've all talked about earlier that the Chargers might be an upcoming team. I still think the Dolphins win that game. Good defense over there. They've got some weapons on. They got some firepower on offense. However, I am just remembering that Jay Cutler's their quarterback. I almost forgot about that.
Dude, he's gonna light it up. Devontae Parker, Jarvis Landry, JJ.
I don't know. Actually, I just now remember that Jay Cutler's there. I'm taking that back. LA Chargers win their first game at home in LA, so I'm going with them. Jay Cutler sucks.
I'm going with the fish.
I'm going with the Chargers.
Heard that. The Sunday 325 games start with Cowboys and Broncos. That'll be a good game.
That'll be a great game, but I'm going with the strange veteran edge of the young Cowboys team over the veteran or over the youngsters in Denver.
Yeah.
I give it to Cowboys.
I'm taking Dallas too.
I think Dallas's defense will show up and shut down the Broncos. I'm going Cowboys.
Fair enough. The second 325 that game is a pretty uneventful one. The 49ers versus the Seahawks. That game will be in Seattle. Seahawks win all day, clearly. Right, guys? I mean,
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I think they're going to Seahawks will bounce back. The next 325 game that day, the last one is is the Washington Redskins versus the LA Rams. That game also will be in LA, so that's 2 football games in LA that day. That's quite a day for LA. Washington Redskins versus the LA Rams. I am hoping. I know the Rams look actually. That's something we didn't really talk much about, but they won last week and actually put up some serious numbers. But I am really hoping the Redskins get their shit together over there and come back and come over to Los Angeles and win that game.
Is that just because you have Cutler or Cousins?
Well, no, because I always feel weird picking the Rams. Period.
I don't like either team, man. They're both kind of like a blah team.
Yeah, they are. But I mean, with the Rams, it's very hard to pick them for me. And the reason I'm hoping they do better is just yes, for fantasy implications. But I think the Rams win this game. What about you, Bubba?
At Rams?
Yeah.
Ooh, at Rams. No. On this one, I'm not going to take the home team. I'm going to take Washington.
Heard that, CJ?
I'll take the Redskins in the game I don't give a crap about.
Heard that. This will be an exciting game. At the first official game in the NFL at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Green Bay Packers versus the Atlanta Falcons. That's the Sunday night game. Man, that'll be an exciting game right there. I am going to take the Packers. I am going to take the. That is a tough one, isn't it?
I will never pick the Falcons. So
I'm not
Packers.
going to pick the Falcons either, but I mean, it's just a matter of like who do I really think is going to win. I'm going to ride with Green Bay, but it is going to be a tough game for them. That stadium's going to be loud. They're going to be pumped up. The last time those two teams played, it didn't look very good for Green Bay. I think they're going to do better this time. You know, they're cresting in a new stadium, which sometimes can go either way for teams. But I'll take Green Bay. And I'm pretty sure you're going to take Green Bay.
It's tough, though, man. It's in Atlanta's new stadium, and Atlanta.
Screw the
already
Falcons,
has,
dude. The Packers are going to own them.
I mean, of course, I wanted it to happen, but
Yeah.
I wanted it to happen. I'm going to go for Green Bay, but it's not going to be easy street.
No,
Unless Atlanta really did fall the fuck off.
I mean,
between seasons.
it is very possible that Atlanta does have a rocky year. It tends to happen after you lose the Super Bowl. You have a sketchy season afterwards.
Especially in that fashion, man.
But
Yeah, another team in your division just had an implosion after they lost in the Super Bowl.
exactly with the but I mean, even if the Falcons do have a little bit of a meltdown this year, this game in particular will be difficult. So I'm taking the Packers, but best of luck to him. That'll be a great game to watch. I'm glad I'm gonna be off that night. And then the Monday night game, the Lions and Giants. I'm taking it. I'm not really liking what I see out of the Giants right now. Hopefully Odell Beckham will be back by then. Hopefully he didn't hurt his foot dancing.
Dancing at the dance off
with
the
Kevin Durant.
Wyckoff John and Kevin Durant dance off.
Dude, Beckham.
Yeah. Come on, Beckham.
Makes me want to keep. I should have kept Tyreek Hill. As sad as
Or you
I
could have made that trade for Ezekiel Elliott, but
Yeah, I had a chance for like 2 days.
I
Yeah,
think
you
you
did.
suck.
I'm taking the Lions.
I'm taking the Lions too. The highest paid player in the NFL.
Yeah, man, those dudes are
Matt
jamming
Stafford.
right now.
Yeah.
That Galloway dude's looking good.
Yeah, I picked him up in our league.
Should, but don't get too excited on 1 week wonders. We all know how that goes. It's week one wonders, I should say.
Yeah, that is
Week one, there was some
Right. Dude, that was last year for the guy from the Texans, Will Fuller.
Like 3 years ago, the Dallas had a receiver that blew up in the very first game. I think his name started with a B. That dude was never seen again in the football. He was just
How about
vanished.
1 year wonders like Steve Slayton? Remember how like awesome he was that 1 year?
Josh Cribbs.
Dude, Peyton Hillis.
Yeah, Peyton Hillis. Got
Dude.
fucking on the cover of fucking goddamn
Oh man,
Madden.
yeah. No, that was
Where is
definitely.
he at now? Is he even playing football?
I don't think so. I thought he was on the
Golly.
Giants last time I checked, but
He disappeared
Yeah,
in
he
a
did.
fucking cloud of disappearance.
Josh Cribbs was the same way. It seems like he was kind of a here this day and gone the next kind of
Yeah.
guy. Like,
well, that's
Drew Brees.
that went on for a while. I mean, I guess we kind of had to see that one coming.
he's had a nice run.
he had a, yeah,
Old man Brees.
he had a nice run break.
like that guy that calls in all the time. Hey, lovely.
Baba Booey.
Guys, thank y'all
Leroy.
thank y'all very much for tuning in tonight. Hopefully, I will be able to go see it before the next episode.
Ohio State sucks. I said it. CJ's dad.
Yeah. Take that, Dad.
And guy from Maiden Immortal.
That guy too. God, Ohio. What a fucking shit show.
JT Barrett's garbage.
I mean, it had to be a good week for you last week because the Gators could not lose.
Exactly.
They couldn't lose.
And I get played Tennessee, so
And,
they still can't lose.
And Bama had a really, really tough time against Fresno. But
You think they'll
they
still beat
prevailed.
Tennessee?
Tennessee is trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trash Tennessee.
I haven't
I'll
actually
be honest
watched-
with you. The SEC East is trash.
You think
I've
that-
been
so
defending
the-
it all last year. I'm tired of defending it.
So the
It's
Colts can go
trash.
in there and win the SEC
It's just
East right
trash,
now.
man. I could, yeah. It's anyone can win it, but Florida just happens to be the least trash of the East, so they're gonna win it. But we'll probably lose everybody else. But we'll still win the East. So we'll beat all the Eastern teams.
And I don't get that about Tennessee because they always are stacked with like really, really good players.
Ever
they
since
got that
fucking what's his face
Butch-
got fired, dude, it's just been shit town.
It's like
and even when he was there,
they
he
got
still
that
couldn't beat
Butch
Florida.
handicap. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
Also, one thing I'm sorry. Go ahead, CJ.
I was gonna say, I thought we'd agreed on no family jokes, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
well,
My
actually,
boy-
no,
my
the
boy
dad
Cliff.
jokes are okay.
Yeah, the dad jokes are okay. I do actually want to mention one thing real
You
quick.
can't talk about Alabama no more. Remember?
That's
I
true.
do.
like,
I do want to mention one thing real quick. Actually, I kind of want to.
Alabama?
No, it wasn't about Alabama. It was about something completely different. But that threw me off. I do want to get Josh Smith on the show about this next week. I read in the newspaper today that
God,
Alabama yeah, like once that happened, it just Josh Gay. I mean, from the guys from the Ice Flyers that we had on the show.
Oh, the Star Wars fan. We had an argument today, well, not argument, but a discussion.
Yeah, I saw that. I do want to get him, hopefully, to call in on the show next week. I would have tried to get it today if I had more time, but it does look like that basketball team, the Pelicans,
They're on
G
their
League,
way?
it looks like that's going to be headed its way to
Success?
Shreveport has already been turned down by.
Have you been to Shreveport?
Well, there was one of the places they were.
You been there?
I have not, but I know
Oh,
enough.
That's a reason why it was turned down.
Yeah, they were turned down, and it's basically between Pensacola and Baton Rouge, and it's looking like Baton Rouge is going to be a big no-no because LSU is so dominant in sports over there that it's almost guaranteed to not make money. You know,
LSU sucks. I hate them.
So, I
And
mean,
Shreveport.
and Pensacola has made a really, really big push for it. Like even the mayor making a online video for it and whatnot. And they've already made proposals for a new stadium. So it looks like
That's the dope part. A new Civic Center Stadium. Place.
yeah, it looks like NBA basketball. I mean, it'll be the G League, which is currently called the D League, but come next year, it'll be the G
Quick
League.
question: if they do make a new stadium, does the hockey team stay in the Civic Center, or
That-
are they building on top of the Civic Center?
It should be well no the proposed plans are supposed to be now. Josh can probably explain this better than I can, but it's supposed to be downtown and it won't affect hockey until the new stadium's built, and it should be a multi-purpose arena. That's the idea.
Oh, so they are going to tear down the Civic Center then?
Yeah,
Yeah, they can
once this
switch
new
back.
place goes up,
They just renamed it.
the base center goes down. Yeah, the
Yeah.
base center is what
What
it's
a
called.
waste of a new name.
Well,
I
they
mean,
need
God, have you
that
been into
need-
that fucking place? Like,
I have. I like how it smells like old socks and apple butter.
it like the flat roof of it just never. I never understood that. Like, that's one of their big problems that they can't get concerts there because it sounds like utter dog shit in there. Because
Smells like dog shit.
It had
Old socks and apple butter.
it has a
man.
flat roof.
The top, yeah. And
It
the
has
water
a flat
doesn't
roof, so I mean,
recede.
like all these bands play there, and they're like, "Why does it sound bad?" Oh wait, because the roof's flat. That's
Last
why.
time I went
What a
was
design flaw.
for
Yeah.
Comic Con or Pensacon with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Was the last
We
time
went
I've been
that
there.
the outer areas. We're like, this is an area. Who goes through here? You're
Yeah,
like 2 foot tall to walk around.
I just remember I was super stoked to see a Walter
So-
Peck action figure from Ghostbusters.
That was the best
So
day.
it will be neat though. Like if this happens,
This
then
man has no dick.
It's true.
it
This
will be
man has
neat.
no
It,
dick.
it will be neat if that happens, and if it can actually succeed. Pensacola will have a professional hockey team, basketball team, baseball team, and college football.
Fuck yeah, we're moving up. in the
Yeah,
world.
moving up in the world. I mean, it's all minor league and lower level college, but fuck it, who cares? It's,
They still count.
yeah, it's
They
it's some-
play. They play ball.
and 3 Jimmy Johns.
and three.
Where's the-
Jimmy
okay,
John's.
there's
We're
there-
big.
Where's the third?
The third is on the way here. You pass it. You pass
Okay.
it on the way here. Then there's one next to Chili's.
And then
All we
there's
need is a
one next to
Chipotle,
the
and then we are
Universal
in
Mall.
business, Pensacola.
we don't need a Chipotle. Chipotle's garbage, dude.
I've heard it's great.
Dude, they use animal food for their meat. They got
Oh
cotton-
wow, what a bunch of assholes!
like
that
like dogs, like dog meat and
Oh,
horse
really?
meat. Yeah, like not like I know how that sounded. Like
There's
not like
Chipotle's everywhere.
not like the right, not the right meat. Like,
This is
Anyways.
slandering people on air.
Anyways, that'll be a wrap for the Underground Pub Show.
I know I
45
said
today.
animal meat. Meat is obviously animal, but I'm saying it's the wrong animals.
I mean,
No, it's dog meat.
thank y'all very much for tuning into the show. We'll see y'all next week, same time, same place. This is Schreiber with Bobo and CJ. Y'all take it easy. Good
Don't
night.
eat at Chipotle.
Bye. Please say bye.
Or
Just
Tijuana
say bye
Flats.
bye. Good Lord.
Go to Moe's.
I've heard
No.
Chipotle's supposed to be really good. I've heard-
No, dude, it's like dog and horse meat.
Moe's sticks their food in the freezer before they give it to you. It's always cold.
Like Moe's has the
Tune in every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time for the Underground Pub Show, right here on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network.
I just went gay all of a sudden. Gay all of a sudden.
Shut the fuck up, will ya?
You are one pathetic loser. What is your problem? You insensitive asshole!
What are you, a fucking moron?
Hold it! What the hell is that shit?